Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith and welcome to my view from the 40. It took 7 long months, but the Ottawa REDBLACKS were finally able to extract a little bit of revenge against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Many of you will remember it was Saskatchewan that eliminated Ottawa in last year's Eastern semi-final. Well, this isn't a playoff game, but it was still good to see Ottawa get off to the winning start for the 2018 campaign. Ottawa was also able to do something that no other Eastern team was able to do last week, which was defeat a Western team. Last week, we saw Saskatchewan take down Toronto, we saw Calgary take down Hamilton, and of course the BC Lions take down Montreal. You might have thought to yourselves, oh, this might be another season where West dominates East, but says Ottawa, as they were able to put on what Wally Bono would call a clinic against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Now, there were a lot of questions coming into this game. First of all, Ottawa's offensive line, how would they hold up? Pretty effectively. They did a really good job, I think, of protecting Harris. And speaking of Harris, who took a knock in the first preseason game of the season, didn't really show any signs of that as he was able to throw for 345 yards. On top of that, 2 touchdowns and an interception. 2 quarterbacks for the Saskatchewan Roughriders combined ended up with, I believe, 251 yards. And on top of that, they had 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. Ottawa was not a favorable place to play tonight as the capacity crowd came unglued at the REDBLACKS complete romp of the Roughriders. Now, before we go and start, anointing them champions and polishing up the Grey Cup for them, we still have a long way to go. But what a great start. Ottawa has not been a great home team over the last few seasons, posting losing records in both the 2017 and 2016 campaign. So getting this win right out of the gate was wonderful to see. It was wonderful to see the capacity crowd there. And I want to talk about the TSN panel. I've got nothing but respect for Kate Burness, Henry Burris, Matt Dunnigan, and my boy Milt Stiegel. They were all very skeptical of how Ottawa would play, and it's very easy for me to talk about it after the fact. To their defense, Saskatchewan looked really good last week, and you never know what you're going to get from an East-West matchup. But let's not go throw the East under the bus just yet, because the season's just starting, and there's a lot of wonderful things that I think can come out of the Eastern Division, so we'll see. And if we put the Eastern Division aside and we just focus on Ottawa, Ottawa played an extremely complete game today. Not flawless, what game and team ever is, but they were pretty close. Of course, the real test is going to come for Ottawa next week when they go to McMahon Stadium to play a very hungry, a very angry Calgary Stampeders team. So I'm very interested in that game. Also have to mention Duron Carter. Of course, Duron Carter is one of these polarizing figures in the CFL. He had a run-in with Coach Campbell several years ago when he played for Montreal, and now he's playing for Saskatchewan. This is a guy who I think if you're not a Saskatchewan Roughriders fan, you're probably not going to like very much, but he's also the type of person where if he's on your team, you're going to love having him on your team. I kind of like the fact that he stirs the pot up a little bit, and of course he was talking a lot of trash against Ottawa this past week. In the end, he did have a pick 6, so we got to give him credit there. But at the end of the day, when he was jumping on the team bus, pick 6 or not, he's still dealing with the fact that he came into Ottawa and he had his tail handed to him. We'll see what happens in the rematch in Regina. Overall, this was a great night for football. It was electric. Of course, wonderful seeing REDBLACKS cheer and dance, hold it down. And did you see they had like this awesome hip-hop routine that they did, the dance team did? I loved it. Anyways, always great seeing them. Whether it's on the field or the awesome stuff they do in the community. Football is back in Ottawa. It's one game, 1-0, not a bad start. We lead the Eastern Division right now. We got 17 more games to go, and I am very excited for next week's game against Calgary. If you have the chance to see the game tonight, tell me what you thought. I'd love to hear from you. As always, you can reach out to me on Twitter at CFL_fan, Facebook.com/WhittyWhittier, and WhittyWhittier.com. Thank you so much for checking this out. My name is Keith, and that's my view from the 40.